So let's talk about the most powerful ninja from every Naruto clan. Keep in mind though, I'm focusing only on the clans where we know at least one member and can discern their abilities. I'll be considering the strongest member from each clan at the peak of their strength. So starting off with a clan that is Namikaze clan. We don't know if the Namikaze clan is really a clan or just more of a small family. Honestly, it feels more like a family to me, but whatever. Obviously, the strongest man here is none other than the flashlight Minato Namikaze. No contest, no debate. We don't even have to talk about it. Dude's one of the most legendary ninja in the history, hands down. The rest of the Namikazes, total mystery. We know next to nothing about his parents, so it's pretty safe to say Minato is the only real prodigy in his so-called clan or family. Makes sense, right? If there was anyone else on his level, we'd probably know about it, but we do not know. So Minato Namikaze is the strongest from Namikaze clan. Alright then, let's keep it rolling with another clan, if you can even call it that, the Haruno clan. Honestly, we didn't even know if it's a legit clan or just a family again. But hey, Sakura's got a unique symbol on her clothes, which kinda hints that her family is at least somewhat important. So maybe the Harunos are a real clan, who knows. Either way, Sakura is obviously the strongest one in the whole clan. I mean, she's basically the only ninja among them. And considering she is probably also the strongest kunoichi in the whole Naruto universe. Sure, there are some filler episodes and movies where her parents pop up and her dad gets portrayed as one of those eternal genin types, but like who gives a shit about them? Bottom line, Sakura's the biggest deal here. Moving on to actual clans, one we know are clans and not just some random names slapped together. Alright then, kicking off with the Inuzuka clan, aka the dog clan. Honestly, we don't know a ton about them. Like, we've got Kiba, his mom and his sister, and that's pretty much it. Maybe the dog counts as clan members too, who knows. There's even this weird hint that the dog Kiba's mom rolls with might be his dad, which is just like, let's not even go there. Anyway, by the end of the war arc, it's pretty clear that Kiba is the strongest member in his clan. Dude pulled off some wild stuff using himself, Akamaru and a shadow clone to whip up a giant three-headed hound that went toe-to-toe with bunch of mini tail beasts. That's actually pretty badass for a guy whose whole fighting style revolves around marking. Yeah, Kiba kinda got sidelined in the series, but credits where it's due. I'm giving this W to him. Next, the Aburame clan. Super underrated, and honestly, I'm a big fan. Yeah, I get it. Most people find the whole bug thing kinda gross, but come on, Shino's a total badass. So yeah, Shino's easily the strongest in Aburame clan. His insects are crazy versatile. They can pull off some insane stuff like creating massive bugs that straight up eat chakra and even wreck those 10 tails mini beast things. Now, some might argue that Torune could give Shino a run for his money with his nano insects, which to be fair is a pretty crazy ability, but I'm convinced Shino surpassed him by the end of the war arc. There's even a filler episode where Shino takes on Torune and wins, so that crown belongs to Shino. Next we have the Yuki clan. Alright, so you're like, what even is this clan again? Well, it's Haku's clan, the ice style Kekkei Genkai crew. These guys were almost wiped out in the Mist Village because of their Kekkei Genkai. Why? No clue. Seems like a dumb move for a ninja village to just off a bunch of people with such a powerful ability. Like, come on, you could have just used them for, making money. Anyway, Haku's obviously the strongest in his clan. I mean, he's the only one we actually know, but let's be real, Haku was no joke. Dude went toe-to-toe with some serious war arc heavyweights, including Rock Lee. That's no small feat. Haku doesn't get nearly enough credit for how powerful he really was. Alright, let's talk about the Hozuki clan. Suigetsu's crew, and of course his brother Mangetsu's too. These guys are wild, like wild in the head too. Mangetsu in particular was hyped up to be an absolute beast, one of the 7 ninja swordsmen who could wield all 7 swords. Pretty clear that Mangetsu is a level above Suigetsu, at least based on what we've heard. That said, Suigetsu isn't a pushover. The guy squared up against 8 tails, which is no small deal to say the least. The clan's signature move, turning their bodies into water to tank physical attacks, is super handy, though they're weak to lightning styles. Oh, and let's not forget their water pistol technique. It's low-key underrated and not flashy, but definitely kind of a spammy ability where you can just, like, does that water even run out like a bullet or something? But here's the twist: the strongest Hozuki isn't Mangetsu or Suigetsu, it's Gengetsu Hozuki, the second Mizukage. The dude was a monster. Like, he couldn't stop yapping, but he was a monster. He was a Genjutsu master. He had the clan's signature water abilities and pulled out some crazy stuff like that oil style, which made Gaara's sand almost useless. Oh, and don't sleep on his Joki Boy technique, a near infinite explosive clone that wiped out entire armies. The guy was such a threat that it took both Gaara and Onoki plus an entire battalion to handle him. And even then, they barely managed. And fun fact, Gengetsu took out Mu, the second Tsuchikage, in a double kill during the first Great Ninja War. That's how evenly matched they were. So yeah, Gengetsu is hands down the strongest Hozuki clan member we know of. Between him, Mangetsu and Suigetsu, it's not even close. Gengetsu is in a whole different level. Alright, next up is the Yamanaka clan. And let's be real, I'm not giving this one to Ino. She's cool and all, very strong. She even managed to do some crazy stuff in War Arc, but she's never really that impressive. The crown's gotta go to her dad, Inoichi. The guy has way more solid feats under his belt than she ever did. Like, remember when he linked an entire allied shinobi forces for days? Yeah, Ino did something similar at the end of the War Arc, but not on the same level. Plus, Inoichi had that mind destruction ability where he could just take over someone's mind and make them, like, straight up betray their allies. Ino never pulled that off in the main series. Sure, she did it in some filler episodes, but it's not the same. The way Inoichi used it during the Chunin exams flashback was just next level cool. And let's not forget, Inoichi was a beast when it came to interrogation. He managed to break through the mental defenses that Pain set up on that Rain Village guy they captured. That's no small feat, because Pain wasn't playing around with his security measures. I mean, I don't know, hidden mental puzzle created by someone with Rinnegan ability, and the guy cracked that code basically. Meanwhile, Ino's over here in the fight against Kakuzu doing pretty much nothing. So yeah, this one's a no-brainer. Inoichi takes the title for the strongest Yamanaka, no question. Alright, let's talk about the Akimichi clan. And yeah, I'm giving this one to Choji. By the War Arc, Choji seemed to be holding his own right alongside his dad, Choza, when they were going up against the Gedo statue. The dude doesn't even need those Akimichi power-up pills anymore. He just got that raw strength built up inside him by then. So by the end of the war, it's pretty safe to say that Choji surpassed his dad. Not that Choza wasn't strong, but Choji's feats were just much more impressive. For example, Choji fought Asuma, who was no pushover. Meanwhile, Choza, he didn't really go up against anyone notably. It's implied he might have squared off with Dan at some point, but we didn't actually see that fight. So yeah, Choji takes the crown here. By the end of this series, he's definitely the MVP of the Akimichi clan. So alright, next up is the Nara clan, and let's be real, this one's just straight up Shikamaru. The guy is an absolute the chill guy. I mean, come on, he straight up destroyed Hidan halfway through Shippuden. Like, who else that isn't a main character can say they took down an Akatsuki member? By the end of the series, Shikamaru is not just the smartest guy in the room, he's also the smartest guy on the whole planet. The guy is a proof that brains can outshine brawn any day. Total legend. And next up is the Shimura clan, and yep, it's a legit clan. It's not even mentioned in flashback with Hashirama when they're talking about how Sarutobi and Shimura clans were joined together. But that said, we don't know much about the Shimura clan at all. In fact, the only notable member we've got is the one and only despicable Danjo Shimura. Love him or hate him, Danjo was actually a beast. Say what you want, but he was definitely the strongest member of his clan. Not that there's much competition because we don't really know anyone else. The guy was loaded with hacks, Sharingan for days, Izanagi spam, and some wild wind style jutsu. And let's not forget, during the Kage summit, he was arguably the strongest Kage, probably. That's debatable. Sasuke had to pull out all the stops to take him down. Sure, Danzo is not exactly a fan favorite, but when it comes to sheer power, he was no joke. So yeah, Danzo takes the crown for Shimura clan, no contest. And hey, I'll always give the guy his props, even if his methods were, let's say, questionable. Next up, let's talk about the Hatake clan. Though honestly, we're not even sure if it is also technically a clan, just like Sakura's and whatnot, but it's Kakase's family, so we'll just roll with it. The only two members we really know about Kakase's clan is Kakashi himself and his dad, Sakumo Hatake, also known as the White Fang. Now, Sakumo's got some serious hype. He was said to be stronger than Sani, but even with that, I've gotta give the edge to Kakashi. I mean, come on, the guy reached some insane levels by the end of the series. He was spamming Kamui, Susano out of like nowhere. It was just straight up ass pull, but nonetheless, he was very strong. And once he got the dual Mangekyo Sharingan, it was game over. There's absolutely no competition between him and his dad when it comes to raw power. Sure, how he got the dual MS might have been a little out there, and yeah, he did get a bit too OP for his own good. But when we are talking straight up power rankings, Kakashi is on a whole another level. He's easily one of the strongest ninja in the verse with that dual MS. So Kakashi takes the crown for the Hatake clan, no question. Next, let's talk about the Kaguya clan. Not to be confused with the Okutsuki Kaguya. We're talking about the Kimimaru's clan, the Kaguya Kimimaru clan. These guys were straight off schizos, straight up barbarians. They loved reading and were pretty much hated in the Mist Village, coming from the land of water. We don't know much about the Kaguya clan except for one major member, Kimimaru, and guess what? He's also the most powerful. Everyone, including Orochimaru, says he's inherited the Kaguya's Kekkei Genkai better than anyone else. The guy was a literal beast. He almost killed Gaara and Rock Lee while fighting with a crippling disease, which should have killed him, I don't know, months ago. Seriously, this dude was barely hanging on, but he was still holding his own battle against Beast of Konoha, young Beast of Konoha. That was insane. Fast forward to the war. Kimimaru comes back in Edo Tensei form and is going toe-to-toe with KCM Naruto. Keep in mind, Naruto was using a shadow clone, but one of his shadow clone managed to take down third Raikage. So, it wasn't some small feat at all. And Kimimaru was keeping up with him for a long time before being dispelled by Itachi. That's a huge feat, considering he wasn't even at full power. This guy was so ridiculously strong that there's no question he's the strongest member of the Kaguya clan. Now, moving on to the possibly Kazekage clan or the Sand clan. This one's a bit tricky since it's not exactly a clan, but let's roll with it. We're almost talking about the Kazekage family here, Gaara from the desert, and that's about as close as you can get to the clan's name. The third Kazekage is said to be the strongest Kazekage ever, and I do not doubt that. The puppet Sasori used was strong, but it didn't represent the full power of the third Kazekage. If a perfect Edo Tensei couldn't fully capture a person's strength, there's no way puppet could. But by the end of the Naruto, the title of strongest Kazekage clearly goes to Gaara, no question about it. Gaara fought against Madara Uchiha 3 times, first with the 5 Kage, then when Madara became the Jinchuriki of the 10 Tails, and finally during the chaos with Obito and the Tail Beast. Gaara kept holding it down, and when it came to power, he proved he was the top dog around the whole Sand Village. Sure, Naruto was there too, but at one point, Gaara had already cemented his place as the most powerful ninja from Sand Village. Alright, next up, moving on to Sarutobi clan. This clan's got some serious firepower. Of course, we've got Asuma, who was considered one of the strongest jonin in the Leaf Village, and Konohamaru, who shows potential in Boruto and who did some crazy shit during Pain arc, which was kind of an asshole, but whatever it was, the canon fit, so we'll give it to him. But when it comes to who's the real powerhouse of this clan, it's got to be Hiruzen, the third Hokage. Now, I know a lot of people like to argue about whether he's weak or not. Someone called him the god of shinobi and the strongest Kage during his prime. In part 1, he was hyped up as the professor, the go-to of our all things ninja, but here's the thing, he got retconned a bit. Kishimoto originally made him stronger, but then decided to buff off Hashirama and Tobirama, making them way more powerful than Hiruzen. That said, he still leagues ahead of average Kage, and when he was alive, people considered him the most powerful Kage. For some reason, even compared to the likes of Onogi and the 4th Kage, who are both beasts in their own right, he was still considered to be more powerful than them. Sure, during the war arc, the Kages might have gotten stronger, but even then, Hiruzen was still putting work. Yeah, he's got stormed by Jubito, but let's be real, who wouldn't be stormed by Jubito? It's Jubito. He was holding it down against Jetsu's wood statue and fighting off all kinds of threats. He was supposed to know every jutsu in the Leaf village somehow, though I'm not sure that's entirely accurate. There's no way he could use every Kekkei Genkai like the Nara, Akimichi clan abilities, etc. And he probably wasn't very good at flying Thunder God as Minato was, since Minato was next level with that technique. Still, Hiruzen was a beast, especially in his younger years. He was said to be far stronger than compared to when he fought Orochimaru, though we'll never know exactly how much stronger he could have been. So for the purpose of the video, it's pretty safe to say that Hiruzen Sarutobi is hands down the strongest member of Sarutobi clan ever. Maybe in the future someone will come. Next up, the Hyuga clan. This is an interesting one and a bit of a tricky pick. Hinata has certainly grown and evolved over the course of the series, especially after the war arc. But let's be honest, she doesn't really get as much time to shine as some of the other characters. Then there's Ieyasu, her father, who's a Jonin and has the impressive gentle fish style, not to mention the rotation technique. But in all honesty, these techniques are somewhat limited, and Ieyasu never shown anything too flashy or revolutionary beyond his standard moves. He doesn't really have the same wow factor as some of the other clans. So who gets to be the top spot in the Hyuga clan? That would have to go to genius boy Neji Hyuga. Ieyasu always praised Neji for his strength, despite Neji being a branch family member, which says a lot. And while Neji's death in the series was a little underwhelming, he went out doing a T-pose, but his skills up until then were top tier. Neji was always portrayed as a prodigy, someone who could see the flow of chakra with his Bakugan and dominate with his gentle fist. He was on another level no one else in the clan really reached, and even Ieyasu acknowledged that. However, by the time we hit the war arc, Naruto had left Neji in the dust. With access to KCM and Seize mode, Naruto was practically godlike, casually flinging billions of Rasen shurikens at the Tentacles. Yet Neji was still being called a genius by Naruto in the final arc, which was a little bittersweet considering how far apart their power levels had come. But despite all of that, Neji remains the strongest Hyuga clan member of all time in my eyes. Hinata might have surpassed him in later series in Boruto and whatever, but I'm not sure because he doesn't really show any kind of feat that goes with that, and he was the one who really embodied the full potential of clan's technique, and in his prime he was a force to be reckoned with. So Neji is definitely the one to beat when it comes to Hyuga clan. Next, let's talk about the Senju clan. This clan was absolutely dominated during the Warring State period, but in the present day it seems to have kind of disappeared. Sure, Tsunade is around, but other than her, we don't see much of the Senju bloodline in the modern era. Despite their disappearance, it's pretty easy to determine who the strongest Senju clan member is. It's the wood guy, the one with the strongest wood. Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage. He is without a doubt an absolute outlier in terms of strength. The man was so powerful that people literally wanted to take his cell to gain his abilities, regeneration, stamina and wood style, all from just implanting a piece of him. That alone speaks volumes about his power. Hashirama was also able to create a massive Buddha statue in Seize mode that was bigger than the entire Leaf village almost, and he was able to go toe to toe with Madara Uchiha, even using his wood golem to grab and throw tail beast bombs from the nine tail with his bare hands. He also single-handedly tamed all the tail beasts from the second all the way to 9th by sheer physical strength and willpower, without no genjutsu required. This man wasn't just strong, he was practically a force of nature, stopping the force of the nature being the tail beast, because the tail beasts were practically made out of nature, and you know what I mean. He was so powerful that he earned the title of the God of Shinobi, a name no one else in the series comes close to achieving. Even Madara, who was nearly his equal, was slightly inferior to him, and until Obito became the Jinchuriki of 10 Tails, there was really no one who could match Hashirama in terms of raw power. Simply put, Hashirama Senju is the most powerful member of Senju clan and one of the most formidable shinobi to ever exist in the entire Naruto universe. Now let's move on to the Uzumaki clan, a clan that is known for being incredibly powerful, but unfortunately not many members are showcased in the story. Sure, we know a few like Nagato, Karin and some others, but most of the clan members are either lost or not very central to the plot. When it comes to the strongest member of Uzumaki clan, the answer is undoubtedly Naruto Uzumaki. After Naruto gains the power of Sage of Six Path, including access to Sage of Six Path Sage mode, there is absolutely no competition. This power boost places him at the level far above anyone in the clan, including Nagato, who, while powerful with his Rinnegan and the abilities of the Sixth Path, is absolutely dwarfed by Naruto's newfound strength. In his Sixth Path Sage mode, Naruto's chakra reserve, speed, strength, and sensory abilities reach godlike levels, and his control over chakra is on another plane altogether. With the power of the Sage of Six Paths, he became one of the most powerful beings in the entire world, not just his clan. So Naruto is clearly the strongest member to ever exist in Uzumaki clan, hands down. Next and at last we have the Uchiha clan, arguably the most famous and one of the strongest clan in the Naruto universe. With so many powerful members, it's difficult to choose the strongest, but we have some heavy hitters like Itachi, Shisui the Bomb, Fugaku, Sasuke, and of course Madara Uchiha. So who is the strongest? Let's break it down. There are two main school of thoughts here, Sasuke with Rinnegan or Madara with Ten Tails. Those who favor Sasuke point to the moment when he cuts Jubidara in half with his Chidori, which is undeniably impressive. However, it's important to note that Madara was not exactly caught off guard. He acknowledged Sasuke's speed but wasn't blitzed because he saw Sasuke coming. Jubidara was more concerned with securing his second Rinnegan and accessing the dimensional space, so he wasn't focused on Sasuke at the moment. While this feat is remarkable, it doesn't hold the weight some fans think it does. Madara, when fully powered with the Rinnegan, the Ten Tails and his Susanoo, is a different beast. Even without his second Rinnegan at the time of Sasuke's attack, Madara's true power, when fully restored, was far greater. He was stronger than the version Sasuke fought as dual Rinnegan Madara, or Jubidara was able to perform feats that Sasuke could never dream of. I mean, he probably could have, but whatever. Now let's talk about Sasuke's strongest version. Many argue it's the Boruto version, but that's not the case. Sasuke in Boruto is seriously limited, lacking chakra reserve and getting overpowered by opponent left and right, and his chakra battery drains every time he even moves. The strongest version of Sasuke was when he had the Indra Susanoo, which he wielded during his battle with Naruto. During this time, Sasuke drained chakra from all the tail beasts, forming a powerful Susanoo that rivaled many of the greatest feats in the whole series. However, despite Sasuke's immense power, he doesn't compare to Madara's true strength. I feel like Madara, especially when using the Ten Tails and his Susanoo, could obliterate large portion of the world with his attacks. Madara was able to create and control the Chibaku Tensei, a technique powerful enough to affect entire countries. Sasuke's Chibaku Tensei pales in comparison, being much smaller in scale as seen when he imprisoned the Tail Beast. Even Sasuke's most powerful attack, Indra's arrow, while potentially damaging, I don't think would phase Madara, who could easily counter it with truth-seeking orbs or his Susanoo. In conclusion, Madara Uchiha is, in my opinion, without a doubt, the strongest member of the Uchiha clan. He is not just the strongest Uchiha, but the most powerful ninja to ever live, in Shippuden at least. No one, even Sasuke at his peak, comes close to Madara's overwhelming power. And it's clear that dual Rinnegan Ten Tails Madara reigns supreme in terms of raw strength. So that is it for the video, and I will be cooking up more videos about Naruto and other animes in general. I also have another channel which creates videos about Elder Scrolls lore. If you are interested, I'll put a link below. Other than that, I will see you in the next one.